Rhonda, I would guess that the kids who go into after-school programs are probably not the kids that are winding up in drug abuse.
Well, sometimes we are preaching to the choir, no pun intended. But each one teach one. You know, I'm a firm believer when you know better, you do better.
Right.
And how can parents better help enforce the police officers' message that they do with DARE? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's important that the parents support that message, and repetition is the way. I mean, if you hear it at school and then you go home and your parents repeat it to you, it kind of starts to sink in, and you know, kids can get the message that way.
I think it's very important for parents to understand. You know, I'm a parent. I have children who are.
You got a whole football team, don't you?
Well, only 9. Too short of football. My youngest is 19. But one of the things that I always try to do, Mayor, is to make sure that I understand that kids do what they see you do. They don't always listen to what you say. If you're having a beer every night, if you're smoking marijuana in front of them, if you're drinking beer, if you're whatever, they're going to imitate their parents. Right. So we have to keep that message clear that cigarettes, that's a drug, it's addictive. Alcohol, it's a drug, it's addictive. And if you don't want your children to participate in substance abuse, you shouldn't make it available to them or impress them at a young age.
Right.
But when you see your mother and father do a thing, you think it's okay.
We're their #1 role model. We're the first person our children look to set the tone. The parents.
Yes.
And what do you think is the most important message that the DARE program and DARE Day provides to the children who participate?
The most important? Wow, it's so many that the DARE program really is about prevention, education. So just to get the message out that drugs are not a good thing, and to try to teach the kids that drugs don't lead anywhere. We were talking about that earlier.
Yes. Makes an impact on kids. Make an impact.
And Nancy Reagan had the saying, "Just say no."
Just say no.
That's probably the most simplest way, but is it that easy for a kid to say just say no with the peer pressure?
Peer pressure is very, very hard.
There are a lot of factors that are involved, Chris. There are a lot of factors that are involved. You have to have a good support system. You know, you have to have the parents who are there for you. You have to have teachers and educators who are there for you, and you have to have a community. There's an old African proverb that we abuse and don't really understand the implications of it, that it takes a village to raise a child. And there's another African proverb that says that the ruin of a nation begins at the dinner table. You know, just simple things like
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, we need to have dinner with our kids, talk to them, listen to them, let them know that we want to be a part of their lives, and you'll see a great reduction in drug abuse.
Rhonda, I want to thank you for all the work that you do in the DARE program, as well as the work that you do with women and children, and especially addiction, and try to get them on the right road.
Track.
We thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the second half of our show. I'm joined by Fatima Raymond. Fatima, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Stanley Neron, welcome.
Thank you.
Two people who have been actively involved in ePort Pride Day, not only this year, but in past years as well. And Fatima, first we'll start with you. Many of you know you from your work with Elizabeth Development Company and economic development, but you not only work on providing jobs and opportunities, but you also wear another hat, and that's as a committee person for the ePort Community Pride Day Committee. First of all, tell us about your role on the committee.
Well, my role primarily is to fiduciary responsibility, raising money, which is a key element in order for us to actually produce the parade.
And Stanley, what do you do on the committee?
Galvanize community support, and we get the youth to participate in the parade, and also coordinate some of the talent that participates in the parade.
Now, at this parade, I don't know if you know this, but this is the first time I heard Elizabeth called, what was the name they called? Eastwick. So is that something that when you were growing up it was referred to as Eastwick? I never heard that term before until I went to an ePort Pride Day.
Actually, I'm a bit older than that. That was a generation after me.
You're admitting to you're a bit older than
that.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately. But it's okay.
Does it bother you?
I still look good.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't bother you then, does it?
No, not at all. Not at all. But they do refer to it as Eastwick, believe it or not.
They do. I kind of get a kick out of it. I thought it was pretty cool. Fatima, how long has this event been taking place in the ePort section?
19 years. It's been going on for 19 years.
And who started it?
Actually, it's from, it drew from a pioneer in the ePort section of Elizabeth, Reverend Garlick. He started it.
And he still comes?
Yes, he does. He was the Grand Marshal last year, so yes.
And who's the Grand Marshal this year?
Senator Ray Lesniak is the Grand Marshal this year.
Oh.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
It's excellent, actually. He provides a lot of services to this neighborhood, and we wanted to honor him. We wanted to recognize him for that. And so.
Good. Stanley, who's going to be participating in this event this year?
We have a host of community programs, some of the youth programs, the SOAR programs will be participating. We have a number of marching bands. The Elizabeth High School Marching Band will be participating. We have some other groups coming from, what's it? Newark.
Yes, Shabazz High School.
Shabazz High School. We have another marching band from Pleasantville. We also
Pleasantville.
Pleasantville, New Jersey. So they come
Hey,
from all
Ralph
over.
Peterson in Pleasantville. That's a hike for them kids to get up here.
Yes, and
So-
they actually have been doing it for the past 4 years with us.
And how long
Pleasantville.
have you been active in the Eports Pride Day?
About 6 years. Been about 6 years.
Stanley, you too? About 6?
About
or?
4.
About 4. Fatima, you've been on the committee since the start. You were on the committee 18 years ago,
No,
weren't
absolutely not.
you? don't look that old, Fatima.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. No, I actually came on board about 6 years ago, and really since that time, we've actually tried to elevate it to make it more inclusive and put more diversity into it, because that is one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the city of Elizabeth. So we wanted to showcase that diversity, and so that's why we collectively is coming together and pulling this thing where we're displaying that diversity in the parade.
Tell us who else is on the committee.
We have representatives from the police department, from the fire department, from City Hall. We have community involvement, some tenant leaders in Eport, and who else?
Our public relations office.
Public relations, cultural and heritage affairs is involved in it. So it's it's brought in certainly.
Now, Stanley, what groups in the port section do you work with? Eport,
Safe Haven.
Eport.
Eport Presbyterian. Yeah.
And how about the
Brand New
Housing
Day.
Authority? They involved at all?
Housing Authority is involved.
And the School 1, do they get involved?
School 1 gets involved. They have dancers that participate each and every year. I believe they even have a float, if I'm not mistaken.
Now, we usually have a big group in Jackson Park during the celebration, because the parade culminates at Jackson Park.
Absolutely.
And is there any truth that one of you are cooking hot dogs this year, or that's...
That tends to be our job at the end of the session. We do the hot dogs and hamburgers. We're going to add a little something different this year at the parade. We doing more, trying to get some more healthy choices in for our seniors this year. So we're looking to do some stuff like that.
We're also going to have some clowns and stilt walkers at the
like face painting and stuff?
Yeah,
We do face painting. We have a petting zoo this year. Hayride. We're actually going to have the stilt walker and the bike rider. So we're going to bring in some activities and do some relay racings for the children, so that we can get some activities involved.
Are
in
there
it.
any awards presentation for anything?
Yes, we have an educational award and Good Neighbor Award, Business Award,
Grand Marshals.
Grand Marshal
They get
Award.
awarded.
Yeah.
Approximately 5 awards that are
Okay.
awarded.
And do these people know it ahead of time, or that we surprise these folks with their awards?
No, we actually send them out a letter and let them know that they've been selected, so
Oh,
they
so
know.
maybe we could talk about some of the people then, who's getting some of the awards. That's we're not going to say it on the show, though, right?
Nah.
No.
Oh, okay.
We'll keep that as one of the surprises on that.
That's a surprise to the
Yeah.
community.
So the people know, but the community doesn't really
No.
know is what you're getting
Not
at.
yet,
Okay.
absolutely.
And what's the best part, Fatima, being on this committee?
I think when the community all comes together and really just celebrate the neighborhood and the growth of that neighborhood, and just see the constant gain, just see children enjoy themselves.
And what about you, Stanley? What do you think the best part? I mean, you're an Elizabeth kid, right? You grew up here, went to school here.
Yeah.
Fatima, you know, she had to get a passport to come here. You, on the other hand, Stanley, you grew up here.
I've
so.
been here all my life. So, I guess the good part is really seeing the youth be able to partake in, community events, and allowing them to be part of Elizabeth and be part of the entire experience. So
Now, if I asked you about the great part of the event, I also asked you what's the most difficult part of this event. And
the most difficult part of the event, let me tell you, is putting all the people that's in the parade in line to get ready to start marching.
That's the most difficult part?
Because
That's
it
the most
grows.
difficult part,
It
'cause
grows. And then we're dealing with children from age 3 and up. And so it's difficult to keep their attention before the band actually gets started. And so they have to be there like an hour before the parade gets going. And so you just got to keep their attention.